Hello, and welcome back to the Lunch Table Podcast. My name is William,
I'm Brett.
And I'm Evan.
and today we'll be talking about music. So, Evan, how do you feel about music?
I've always been a massive music person almost all of my life. My music tastes have gone pretty much everywhere. In the last, I'd say 4 or 5 months, but over the span of my life, I've pretty much listened to everything.
And what about you, Brett?
I'm a little bit more selective with mine personally. The main genre that I like is 80s personally. And I like a little bit of modern stuff, but mainly I've only listened to 80s, a little bit of 70s and 90s stuff.
What's your favorite genre in the 80s category?
I don't know. I
I
would
guess
have
he
to
was an 80s disco music guy.
Oh, yeah?
He just
I
vibing
do like
in the
Earth,
car.
Wind, Fire, and Air. Oh,
Yeah.
I love-
I could see you in the car just jamming
Wait, I
out
just
with
say-
the...
Let's groove tonight.
I just realized I just said Earth, Wind, Fire, and Air like I'm from Avatar. Yeah, but they
Not
make
a
good
band.
songs. I like them. And
they do have good music.
yeah, I really like the disco. But I think my favorite artist from the time was Phil Collins, easily, or Genesis, the band he was in before he went on his own. Made some banger songs right there. I have a podcast. It's just not podcast. A playlist is just dedicated to it. It's called The Legend Himself.
I'm pretty sure if you had a podcast, it'd be called Copyright the Podcast.
Probably would. It would probably end up copyright strike.
I have a podcast. It strictly just plays Phil Collins music.
Yeah. For the record, I think everyone knows who Phil Collins is just because of In the Air Tonight. Whether you actually know that that's Phil Collins or not is up for determination, but everyone knows that song in some form or fashion.
Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum.
I can feel it. I mean, it's just an overall good song.
For anyone needing context. And that's 10 seconds of that because 15 gets us copyright striked.
Awesome.
Anyways,
But some of my favorite things from him are definitely Easy Lover, which is a good song, and That's All from Genesis. They did a 2007 remaster in that. And of course, In the Air Tonight, arguably his most popular song on there. And Susudio, which is like a really pumped up song. I like that one a lot. What's your favorite from the 80s genre, William?
My favorite song, artist, what are you talking about?
Annie.
Any? I'm not really good with dates, so if I can really narrow down 80s, I don't know. Like a Prayer by Madonna's pretty good, though.
Oh, yeah.
I can dig with Like a Prayer. What about you?
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood
we
Mac.
have a massive joke in the back room that no matter what I hit shuffle on my Spotify, Fleetwood Mac will appear out of somewhere.
It's true. It just happens. He just has some sort of his playlist it has a magnetic effect on Fleetwood Mac.
And we're not talking about just there's always Fleetwood Mac on my playlists. No. I played one of my playlists that is strictly workout music. It's all high energy, yelling, screaming. Well, not really, but it's like I don't really know what it's called. Like, it's a genre of metal, but it's a more electronic kind of metal. I'm not really. I think it's photo metal or something like that. It's songs like "Feel Nothing," "Can You Feel My Heart," and various more high energy rap songs by like Jake Hill and people like that. And if you guys know any of that music, you know that that's nowhere near Fleetwood Mac's genre. But I had that playing in the back room, and it had been playing out throughout the day. And after a really high, it's a trap version of "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
And then it went to "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac directly after. And this was the first song that was on the My Music Shuffle.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious. I was dying laughing, and I'm pretty sure Brett was there to witness that.
Oh, yeah, it was. And it's always Dreams. Like, I'm not even talking about Fleetwood Mac in general. It's always Dreams.
Yeah, it's always that one song. It's not like we physically cannot get that song off of my Spotify recommended. There's been playlists that are like literally all rap, and it's just like suggested for you, "Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac. I was like, well, I mean, that's one way to get to it.
Yeah, and another thing, you talking about the electro music or whatever that's supposed to be called, Daft Punk.
Oh, don't even get me started. I'm a huge Daft Punk fan.
They're good. I mean, like, so many people just say that they don't deserve, like, the Oscar that they, or the Grammy that they got and all that mess, but, like, they make good songs. I mean, they're catchy.
I agree with you that they deserved their Grammy, but personally, I don't understand the hype behind a lot of their
Careful.
music. They have good music, don't get me wrong. I agree that their music is good, but it's not something that I could put onto a playlist and listen to over and over and over. Like, they make good stuff, and yeah, in certain settings it's alright, but I couldn't genuinely walk down the hallway with their music in my earbuds, like, on a daily basis.
That's fair enough. I think some things that really went well with Daft Punk is like the collab they did with Kanye
Yes.
back in the mid 2000s, Stronger, where
Stronger.
where they used part of their own song, of course, to kind of go in with the chorus and Kanye's part. I thought that was a really good song. It's one of Kanye's most popular.
They were also in the music video.
Oh yeah, it's a great music video. And then kind of like the second coming of that is when they starred in some of the Weeknd's album. Like I Feel It Coming. That one was a good one.
That was a couple years before they retired.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the weekend? I think it's the weekend. What are you guys' thoughts on the song Sweater Weather? Because I know that went around at one point, and it got to the point where everybody hated that song. But what's your guys' thoughts on that song?
I've actually never heard it.
Yeah, me neither.
Really?
Actually.
Here, I'll Oh, wait, sorry, it's not The Weeknd. It's by The Neighborhood. Very similar names, but either way, it's this song. I'm sure you've at least heard the beginning of it. It's a very popular song on social medias in places like TikTok, things like that. It's one of those songs that depressed white girls like to slow down and listen to with a lot of reverb. I will say I've seen many TikToks of crying people with that song in the background.
Honestly, I've never heard of any of that. I didn't even. I mean, I feel like it rings a bell. Like I feel like the song rings a bell, but can't place my finger on exactly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll play with some from the middle of it. Maybe that'll help.
I definitely recognize it.
It's a very recognizable chorus and just
Yeah.
clips of it. I apologize to any listeners that are getting like anxiety from only hearing 5-10 seconds of the songs. We have to have workarounds. But it's definitely a song that's very recognizable to anyone who's heard it before. And I will say personally, I do enjoy the song. I feel like there's a good they have good analogies, and there's a very good. The lyrics are pretty good, and I like the beat behind it.
Alrighty. You guys like any like classic rock?
I was a massive classic rock person for a long time. I kind of moved over to more metal in the last while, just because metal music, it's a lot of bar chords and things like that, and it's a lot of fun to play on my guitar.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't really ever dived into metal or anything, but I know a couple of classic rock songs. I like them.
Do you guys play any instruments yourselves?
I do not.
I've started playing the guitar, the electric guitar.
Guitar's a very fun hobby to get into. I will say your fingers will callous very quickly.
Definitely. I can attest for that.
Yeah, I remember it was a massive thing with me and my brother. We both wanted to really play the guitar back when we were younger, and we both still do to this day. But me and him really we were major fans of like, I think everyone who gets into guitar at some point or another is a major fan of Metallica at some point. But we kind of got to our point where we were looking at like more Led Zeppelin and Ozzy Osbourne and people like that. Every now and then my brother actually enjoyed a few songs by Dave Matthews Band. They had a few good licks with their stuff. There was also a lot of times that we were playing, when we got more into it, we were playing songs together by more metal bands, like some ones of like System of a Down, Iron Maiden, or Megadeth. Not sure if you guys have heard any of their stuff.
The Trooper is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, The Trooper is a very good song. I've enjoyed it all the way through, just being able, like, all the way through my experience of playing guitar, there's obviously different levels that you can play songs. You can play just the chords, you can play just certain patterns, and then you can get to exactly how it's played in recording. And it's a very accomplishing feeling to get to recording level playing. It's amazing.
But can you play Wonderwall?
I can.
Mm.
I can also play Yesterday by Little Peep, which is Wonderwall up 2 half steps.
Really?
Yes, it
I
is.
thought you were talking about Yesterday by the Beatles.
Oh, I could play that too, but there was anyone who knows Wonderwall here. This is probably the easiest copyright strike we'll ever get, but this is the beginning of Wonderwall. Just the chord pattern. And so anyone who's listened to that, it's will most likely recognize it whenever they hear it. It's a massive joke in the community because it's just a song. It's fairly easy to play. It's easy enough chords, and all you have to really learn how to do is just downstrokes and chord changes. It's not too difficult. But if you've ever heard the song Yesterday by Little Peep, it's obviously trapped out, but if you listen, it is the exact same chord pattern in a different octave. It's up 2 half steps. It goes from, I believe, the original key of E to F, if I'm not mistaken. I might be incorrect on that. If someone would like to leave a comment in the description yelling at me, you're more than welcome to do so. I believe that is correct, but I'm not to be quoted on that. But I always thought that was a really cool thing because I was interested to see how they would have either sampled it or changed the chords, maybe getting different chords, and because I thought they did sus chords and 9 chords, which are ones that give you a bunch of different tones out of your guitar, and so I thought that's what they were doing. But when I figured out it was the same thing with a capo on second, I kind of surprised, honestly. A lot of artists like to, when they sample music, change things up a little bit, and it was just it was different.
Yeah, I can see that. To be honest, if you just played the beginning to that song, what was it, Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
I would have just thought it was Wonderwall. I was like, oh, Wonderwall. I know that song.
Yeah, and I've played that in a car with one of my friends, Cody, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're playing Wonderwall," and then he heard the like hi-hats come in, which is and that's not there in the original song. It's quite a shock to people who know the original, I will say.
You know, I can't really remember the name of the song, but the one that goes like, singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
Oh, yeah.
Summer in 1969?
No, that's Bryan Adams.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
But, you know that song has like the same riff as Sweet Home Alabama?
That is All Summer Long by Kid Rock.
Kid Rock?
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was Kid Rock. That made that.
Yeah, but he uses the same exact riff
Mm-hmm.
as Sweet Home Alabama, which is cool because they're referencing that song in the song.
Yeah, I
So-
thought that was really cool when I heard it for the first time. I was like, oh, they used the same lick. It's cool.
Yeah, another famous one that's basically taken song to song. They're literally like zero differences. Under Pressure and
Ice Ice Baby.
Ice Ice Baby, yeah.
That's
There's
right.
been more than one time that I'm in the car with my parents and we're listening to classic rock station and I hear the dun 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 dun, dun and I'm getting ready for the Ice Ice Baby. But
I like to play the
it's
game.
just not there.
I like to play the game whether it's Ice Ice Baby or Under Pressure.
Oh yeah, me and my friends have like whenever we hear it in the car and it's on the radio and we have no idea what it is, we'll yell at each other bets right before it gets to the point where you're able to decide. And so when we hear just the beginning riff, you'll hear 3 or 4 people. We play it like poker. You have to call the same bet or you're not in. So
Gotcha.
one person will yell 20, and if everyone in the car yells 20, then that's the bet. And whoever someone will say like you'll yell 20, and then you'll yell what song you think it is, and if you're right, then however much everyone else who bet against you is split between however many people said the one. And it's always funny because there's someone screaming by the end of it.
I think that's my secret power. It's a useless one, but I think my secret power is being able to determine which one's which. For somehow I've always been able to guess it right. I don't know why.
I feel it's very easy to tell when it's under pressure, because most of the time you only hear that on a, like around here it's 100.7.
Or
And that's the only
96.1.
yeah. And those the only 2 stations. Those 2 stations will only play under pressure because it's the only one in their genre.
This might get a little controversial, but what do you feel about sampling songs from other people, as Vanilla Ice did?
I don't think there's a point where it comes to a limit. I think that specifically in Vanilla Ice's case, I think he made something creative out of it. I think if you just make the beat and then don't really do much to change it, it doesn't really justify it. But I mean, it's hard to come up with an original beat or rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you sample something and use it to help create your own song, as long as you're putting your own creative spin on it, it's not like an actual copy. I think it's all right. What do y'all think?
Personally, I was a big fan for a long time of, it was an artist called Young Gravy. Have you guys heard of him?
Oh yeah.
I have.
And so I will real quick play clips for the beginning of a few songs real quick.
Gravy.
Oh yeah, the Sandman.
So there's
Let's
Sandman, and then he also has another one that is,
Hey.
or I might have to cut that one. But I forgot that's how he starts it. But those are both really good samples from different songs. I can't play that one all the way through, but if you recognize the first few notes, then you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like sampling is beneficial to both sides because it'll get people to see and enjoy one song if they've heard the one in the past, if they enjoy what the person has done with it. And also get people who have heard it for the first time a chance to go back and explore older music. I feel it's good publicity either way.
Yeah, sampling is really popular these days, especially among the rap community.
Yeah, and it can be subtle or you can really tell either one.
Mhm.
You see a lot of it though. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I find really cool about sampling is a lot of times in newer rap, you'll find a sample, but it's so far in the background that you can't tell. It's literally right there and you still can't tell because they've taken it, they've done so much to it that you can't really get distinguishably enough of what it is. Like you can take it and you'll like if they'll take a sample, they'll tone it down 3 octaves and then they'll stretch it and slow it and reverb it to the point where it's unrecognizable, but it sounds really interesting. But if you bring it back to what it is, it's like your ABC song. It's weird.
There's a website out there that actually, if you put in a song, it tells you like how many samples it has and like where it comes from. And if you like click on it, you can like listen to the song and exactly that point where they sampled it. And some songs have like over 20 samples from different songs.
Oh yeah, some people, they literally have 0 original content in their song, but it's all sampled and done well. I feel like a lot of people who sample do a very good job of it.
Did you know that this is just a fun fact, I guess. You can safely use an artist's work in like a YouTube video or such like that, royalty free, if the artist has been dead for longer than 70 years.
Yes, I did know that actually.
All right, boys, let's turn up with some Mozart. I actually didn't know that before, though.
You didn't or did?
No, I didn't. I don't know the rules with that. I don't make content outside of this, so I don't really have to be overly too concerned about it, but
All right, boys, you ready for the new outro? Here we go. Hitting it with the new Wolfgang. We're gonna close this one out with a nice long Mozart clip.
You gotta love Mozart.
Oh yeah, he's a classic. What do you guys feel about the classics in like classical music?
I like the idea of using classical music, like music with newer instruments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, have you seen people play like Moonlight Sonata on the guitar?
I have not.
I think they did a very good job with it. There was one guy who played, it was Moonlight Sonata on his guitar, but he had distortion on it, and he was using a whammy bar through the entire thing. It was really neat, but it was definitely strange to hear such a renowned piece played in such a not, how would you say, conventional way.
I agree. I actually really like classical music sometimes. You know, if you're just sitting down chilling, sometimes classical music can help you relax.
Yeah,
Without all the crazy
I agree.
wailing of a guitar or something like that.
true, it is far more calming, I've noticed.
It's been hard for me to find music that I can really get with recently, like truly, because it's either for me it's either way too much bass in the back, or the treble is just cranked and not mixed well enough in the top end. And a lot of times when they sit perfectly in the mid range, you're only giving yourself about 2 octaves to work with, and there's not enough range in the song. Like, you're truly not doing enough. I wouldn't say enough. You're not doing well enough with what you're given. Because I know, like, larger productions, especially, need to really know how to work within and around their budgets. Because they have a lot of money, but they're not putting a lot of it towards what it needs to be put towards, in my opinion. Because either pay your engineer more, or you can put more into just different effects and different things you can get on your DAW. But especially the people who rely solely on auto-tune, I understand everyone sounds like a robot nowadays. And it's kind of relieving to hear someone who doesn't. That's why I'm a big fan when it comes to rappers of people like Logic, Eminem, J. Cole, Dax, Hobson, all of them. They are clear spoken, they don't mumble, and if they do, they're making fun of somebody. If they're talking about, oh yeah, I have money, chains, cars, this, that, and the other, they're most times making fun of someone. And if they're not, then I feel like they deserved it, honestly. Because they've put enough into this industry, and they've done enough around the industry to truly be able to show off their money and show off this and that if they wanted to. But turning into someone that's more of the mumble rapper genre, it's kind of all we have left when it comes to rap. There's not very many people who are keeping like the Biggie or the Tupac or can't think of anyone else right now, like their style, and like the more relaxed, laid back, kind of flowy rap. It has to either be fast or it's nothing.
So, when I was a little younger, I used to be a big Metallica hater. I'm not gonna lie, I really hated Metallica.
Really? What's that?
It's just too hard for me, I suppose.
Mm.
But now I'm definitely starting to get more into Metallica.
I understand that, and it's kind of surprising that you say Metallica was in that way too hard for you, because they're on the lighter end of the metal spectrum, especially because like I like listening to people who are like Tool or System of a Down. I'm not sure if you've heard of either of them, but they're definitely on the harder end of the spectrum. It's the yelling, screaming, just loud.
I think they're harder than Iron Maiden now.
Yeah, honestly, they might be. System of a Down's kind of gotten to that point where it's still good music, but it's kind of just noise on certain songs. I love their stuff. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love their music. Some of my favorite songs are from System of a Down, but it's really hard for me to get behind just noise when it comes to how you do your instruments. Things like when there's a guitar solo, a drum solo, and it sounds like there's a bass solo all happening at the same time, but it's just written into the music. It's too much for me sometimes. And maybe that's just me saying that is too hard of metal for me, and maybe I'll enjoy it in a few years. But it's just not my thing now.
Understandable. Do you like Dio?
Hmm?
You a big Dio fan?
Honestly, not really.
Me neither.
I've heard some of their music, but not too much.
I like their song "Rainbow in the Dark."
Mm.
Where it starts off with like a hard synth, and it's like you first listen to it and it just shocks you. It's like, what on
Yeah.
earth?
If you like the hard synth, like the loud, like really good, just the way that they play it well, I would really recommend listening to "Welcome to the Machine" by Pink Floyd. The middle section has a amazing sounding synth. Like, it's truly something. I went to see a Pink Floyd cover band not too long ago, and that was probably the closest rendition of the actual band that I've seen for any cover. They did an amazing job. When they played "Welcome to the Machine," it's if you don't know it, it's just about a 9 to 10 minute song. It's very long, but it's very good. I enjoyed the entire thing because it was a song that I had not heard much of before the concert. I've only had heard it maybe 4 or 5 times, playing it with me and my dad just on a playlist in the car. But when we were there, it truly gave me an appreciation for it because of how much they brought out the synth. It was I guess you could say, in a way, it was like a quote unquote religious experience kind of thing. It made me appreciate that instrument that much more that I didn't have the appreciation for to begin with.
I don't like Pink Floyd.
Oh, you've messed up.
So why is that?
I just think they're boring. I'll be honest.
What about their music do you find boring?
Just they're kind of slow for me.
Well, it's called psychedelic rock. It's supposed to be slow, kind of drawn out music.
I just don't like Pink Floyd. I think maybe I've only heard the popular songs, and maybe the popular songs aren't that good. But I'm just not a fan.
I will say some of their popular songs are kind of. I think they're some of the best, but I wouldn't say that they are the best. Because there's songs like "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," "Welcome to the Machine." Gotta pull up my playlist to get my full range.
I listened to "Shine On You Crazy Diamond." I remember stopping it like halfway through though.
It's a very long song, I will say. There's "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," "Wish You Were Here." Those are two of my personal favorites. It's very good. "On the Run's" a very good one. "Brain Damage" is pretty good. If you've ever heard "Time or Money," those are both very popular songs, and I think they're really good. You have probably their most popular song is "Another Brick in the Wall" Part 2.
I didn't know they made a part 2.
Well, there's Part 1, 2, and 3. The one most people have heard is this one.
I didn't know there was any other parts.
Yeah, so Part 1 starts like this. It's the same riffs, the same thing as all the way through Part 1, 2, and 3, but the only one people really hear is Part 2 because it was popularized in the 90s and the 2000s by like the quote-unquote emo or emotional movement because they were trying to just push, oh, we don't like school, we don't like this, because it was we don't need the education, teacher, leave that kid alone, because those are the most main lyrics that people remember from that song. and because of that, they use them in things like Vines, Musical.lys, and if it was around back then, so for people who don't have context on what those two are, it would be like TikToks of the time. And that really popularized the song, and it made it so people didn't really see the other. In turn, that kind of made an issue for a lot of things when it had to come with like publicity and stuff like that, because they couldn't find genuinely a way to get things out there unless they were like they weren't in the mainstream as much anymore. They were kind of a background group, and as much as I don't like to say that they truly turned into one.
I can definitely tell.
I mean, it's not everyone's kind of music, but I will say psychedelic rock has always been a genre that I've always enjoyed.
Any more to discuss, Brett?
I don't have anything.
Neither do I.
I'm out of ideas.
I truly am too.
Well, we're going to go ahead and stop it here. I'm Brett,
I'm Evan.
And I'm William.
and we will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.